ATHOS. There are no words to describe such a unique greatness. The faithful ones are moved by the holiness that starts to surround us. Whoever reaches there is touched by the Holy Spirit. Tourists' access is allowed under the daily limit of 100 persons that are Orthodox and 10 that are not. The maximum allowed time for a visit is 4 nights. For longer sojourns, you need special permits issued by the community representative in Saloniki. In 1046, the Byzantine Emperor Constantine IX calls the region officially the Holy Mountain. The first monastery, Megalilavra, was founded in 963, and the first statue of monastic life was released by the Byzantine Emperor John Tzimiskes in 972. It was written on a goatskin, being thus called Tragos. The second statute was issued by Emperor Constantine Monomachos, called Avaton, which forbade women's access in the area. The monastic life throve, and thus, in the 13th century, there were about 300 smaller or larger establishments. Nowadays, there are 20 monasteries on the Holy Mountain, 17 Greek, 1 Russian, 1 Serb, and 1 Bulgarian. Over 1,500 monks dedicate their lives here to redemption in front of God. The greatest honor is to serve God. You have created us for yourself, God, and our soul can't rest in peace until it rests in you. The first monastery in sight is St. Paul, built in the 10th century. There are 390 Byzantine manuscripts and over 10,000 old engravings in the library. There is some social life, but most monks live secluded in total loneliness. An imperial decree sealed in gold by Emperor Constantine Paleologue attests its establishment. Dionysian Monastery, built in 1389. Social life is severely reduced among the 40 monks. The church is patronized by Saint John the Baptist and was built in 1545. Next we see Gregorius Monastery, founded in the 13th century by Father Gregorius, who had come from Sinai. Then it was abandoned and completely destroyed in the 15th century. In ancient times, there was a temple dedicated to Poseidon on the site of the monastery. The main church was built in 1750, right on the shore, and its patron is Saint Nicholas. The most enduring impression is created by Simeon Petra Monastery, belonging to the Greeks. At first, in the 14th century, it was called the New Bethlehem. The last fire in 1891 was devastating, destroying most of the monastic art treasures of the past centuries. Port Daphne is the official harbour of the Holy Mountain. He who wants to visit the mountain must pass through this port, where the Greek police and customs reside. Along the slopes, there are a series of modern buildings which are, in fact, cells belonging to the monks of different nationalities who took refuge here in order to find their tranquility in front of the onslaught of tourists. Hieropotamou Monastery is among the oldest, built in 424 AD, preserving inside a wooden cross offered by the Emperor Constantine Porphyrogenite. The most imposing monastic establishment belonged to the Russians. Its patron is Saint Panteleimon and was built in the 12th century. Fires often destroyed it during the centuries, but each time it was rebuilt and enlarged. Everything is molded in massive gold or gilded. 2,000 monks lived here at a certain time in history. The belfry is unique in the world for its 33 bells, one being a real colossus of 13 tons. More modest from an architectural viewpoint, but as lofty in spirit, are Xenophon, founded in the 10th century, and Dochiarius monasteries. They were both devastated by the Catalan and Moor pirates. We leave the holy area of monastic establishments and go to Uranopolis harbour, the closest civilian port. Any trip to the holy mountain starts here, the real gate to the holy citadel of orthodoxy. Legally, Mount Athos is under the patronage of the Ecumenical Patriarchy of Constantinople, but in fact it is autonomous, having a particular statute, observing internal rules, the Greek state only guarding for its protection. Leaving slowly, we led behind the wild scenery of the mountain, marked here and there by the silhouettes cut in stone of the monasteries. Our souls are still lost in heaven, like any wave loses itself in the immensity of the sea. Mankind can take any direction, but the spiritual height of Christianity will never be surpassed. The sea was in the history of Greeks what the forest was for Romanians, a close refuge, the only friend that could help unconditionally, the only one which understood, helped and protected. The way back seemed unreal. The landscape flies by us. Cars, motorway, customs, monotonous and bleak Bulgaria. We leave, letting behind something of our souls, something that will add up to the cultural brilliance of this realm. Yes, we admit it. We remained the prisoners of the color of the sea, of scarlet sunsets, of tragic bell rings, of the barren cliffs of the holy mountain. Probably, like most of our companions, we shall be sentenced to suffer by loving Greece. Whatever path we might take, we'll always return there.